Hello, welcome back to Python programming. So in this video, I am going to start the second part of Unit 5, so classes and functions. In the last video, I am discussed about the time prototyping and planning and all. So in this video, I am going to discuss the object-oriented features, printed object, the init method, the string method, operator overloading, type-based dispatch, polymorphism, interface and implementation. In this video, you will get the two lectures. 40 and 41. So now we'll start this lecture as a object oriented features, printing objects, init method and string method. So first, what is meant by object oriented program or features? We all well known this about object oriented features, and Python is obviously it is known as an object oriented programming language, and these are the programs made up of with object definitions and function definitions, and most of the computation is expressed in terms of operations on objects. So any programming language is you can call it as a Python programming language. You can call it as an object-oriented programming language, and it is a method is a function that is associated with a particular class. We have seen methods for strings, lists, dictionaries, and tuples. In this chapter, we will define the methods for user-defined types. So methods are defined inside a class definition in order to make the relationship between the class and the method explicit. The syntax a method is different from the calling a function. So if you take this, that is the object oriented feature, all these features. So whatever you can write like encapsulation, polymorphism. So whatever you can write, whatever the defining the object oriented feature. Next, how the printing objects will be performed. So same, the printing objects defines the if you take same example what I discussed in the previous session, like time, hour, minute, second, whatever. So we can call this function. You have to pass a time object as an argument. So print, giving the printing object. So based on the time, the printing object will be start. When we perform the start, the time will be start from 9:45 seconds. 9 hours 45 minutes 0 seconds. The time will be started. So that we can define the printing object. To make print time a method, all we have to do is move the function definition inside the class definition. Notice that the change is indentation. So this is the way to define the class name with the time object of the function, and defining the function name as a print to time a method which is called the time as a function. So printing the time like time, hour, minute and seconds. Now now there are two ways to call print time. The first and the less common way is used to function syntax time print time start. So the time will be starts at 9:45 a.m. or p.m. whatever. In this we use the dot notation. Time is the name of the class and print time is the name of the method. The start is passed as a parameter. The second and more consistent way is used to method syntax. So this is about printing objects. Next, coming to the init method. In this init method, the init method is a short for initialization. So whenever we need to initialize some methods or the object or the variables, we'll use the init as a method. It is a special method that can get invoked when an object is instantiated. Its full name is init, 2 underscore characters followed by init. So first underscore will be defined and init, and second underscore will be defined. Then it takes the init as a method to be called. So next here we'll see the init example. So inside class time, defining init as a self, hour, minute and second. Self dot hour is equals to hour, self dot min is equals to minute and self dot second is equals to second. Next, the parameters are optional. So if we call time with no arguments, we will get the default values. So time is equals to time, time dot print of time. So this is the init method. If you provide one argument, it overrides hour. Time is equals to time, time dot print time. So this is the, if you provide two arguments, they override hour and minute. So time, this is the way to define the init method. Next, coming to the string method. String is a special method like init that is supposed to return a string representation of an object. So inside class time, defining string self return, this is the self, hour, minute and second. When you print an object, Python invokes the string method. So time 9:45, print time 9:45. So this is way we can call it as a string method. Next, coming to the classes and methods, object oriented features, printing objects, the init method, string method, lecture 40. So here Python programming defines the other second part of unit 5, classes and methods. We'll discuss in the same. I completed this lecture. Now we'll start the operator overloading, type based dispatch, polymorphism, interface and implementation. So here we'll see the operator overloading, type based dispatch, polymorphism, interface and implementation. So what is meant by operator overloading? The name itself defines the operator overloading. Means by defining other special methods, you can specify the behavior of operators on user defined types. For example, if you define a method named add for the time class, you can use the plus operator on time objects. So here is what the definition might look like. Inside class time, defining add or self other. So seconds is equals to second time to int and other time to int. So return into 2 time seconds, and here is you could see use it. So starting time and duration, print start plus duration. Then the time will be started with duration of some 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever. So next, coming to the type based dispatch. So same, I am taking here self other and self other like add time, add, increment. So whatever we need, we'll define some of these statements to perform the type based dispatch. Whenever there is need to define the add function of the self and other parameters is to be passed, we define a condition which is based on the instance. So then the other and the time will be written as self dot add time of other. So else the return self increment will be to other parameter whatever defined. So the same in that way, this is the statements which two other statements will be following. Next, coming to the type based dispatch, here are examples for the use of plus operator with different types. We will define the start time 9,45, duration time 1,35, print start plus duration 11,20. So then print start plus 13,37 defines. So then the time will be printed as start. Whenever the 10 will be performed, then the time will be started. So in that case, we'll perform the instance or plus operator to use. So that we can call it as a type based dispatch. Next, coming to the polymorphism. So this is well known word which is familiar word for our programmers. Sorry. Functions that can work with several types are called polymorphic. Polymorphism can facilitate code reuse. For example, the built-in function sum, which adds the elements of a sequence, work as long as the elements of the sequence support addition. So whenever we take the histogram as a defining the histogram as a function, d is equals to dictionary for c in yes. If c not in d of c is equals to 1, else d of c is equals to d of c plus 1, return d value. So t is equals to spam, egg, spam, bacon, some whatever. If you take the tuple values as a combination of these tuple values, histogram defines of t, bacon 1, egg 1, spam 4. So this is the polymorphism. Next, interface and implementation. A design principle that helps achieve that goal is to keep interfaces separately from implementation. For objects, that means that a method a class provides should not depend on the attributes that are represented. So this we can call it as an interface. After you deploy a new class, you might discover a better implementation if some of the other parts of the program are using the class. Generally, it might be time taken or some error, some interruption will be defined to change the interfaces, to deploying a new classes, to adding a new classes. All the interfaces, by using that interfaces, there is need for some more time will be taken or more interruption will be taken. So in that case also we'll go for the interface and implementation. But if you design this interface carefully, you can change entire implementation without changing the interface. The same interface by using the same interface, we can change the implementation, which means the other parts of the program don't have the change. So next, coming to the code in other parts of the program outside the class definition should use methods to read and modify the state of the object. They should not access the attributes directly. This principle is totally called as information hiding. So this is the information hiding. The name itself known as the hiding the information wherever we need necessary. Whenever the attributes defines, so those attributes cannot call directly. So that is nothing but we can call it as a information hiding. So this is about classes and methods. In the classes and methods, there is the operator overloading to interface and implementation, type-based dispatch, polymorphism. So I'm going to end the session in this up to now. In the next video, I continue the other future coming topics of unit 5. Thank you. Thank you so much.